You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How are ye?
And it's me, Brian.
And don't forget.
Yes. In this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of June the 1st to June the 7th, 2024, starting with Go Go Loser Ranger, episode 8, Shout Out Loud Cadets. If you thought the exam arc was over yet,
Nope.
You're wrong.
Also, I thought I skipped an episode because they're like, "Wow, that's the end of the day," and I was like, "Is it?" But that was the point. So they tricked me as well. So good job on them.
Yes, it opens with the fact that we thought they'd lost their key at the end of the last episode, but it turns out this was all a clever ploy. They'd set the alarm to go off early, and then just grabbed the key back and legged it.
Yep.
It's
just
a
one
legal
more
move.
day. Still one more day. You can always steal it back. We can always steal all your keys as well. This ain't over.
Yes, and you can also all get killed off by a terrible monster who's wandering around the basement, murdering Blue Rangers.
Yeah. It's a very unceremonious way to like obliterate her on one's head. It's just...
Especially after the number one in line one kind of like, no, get out of here, like dives out of the way to get her out. It's like, oh, what are we gonna do? And it like gets her head blasted off. It's like, yeah, you're not an important character, so you're very up for the chop. Sorry about that.
Our apologies.
Yes. What's her name? Yeah.
The one who looks like a little kid but is actually much older, as everyone keeps telling us. Yeah.
Komachi.
That's it, yeah. Yes, because she's facing off, and we see her do one of her attacks.
Yeah, she's got like a proper relic. Some stuff. Umibozu, yeah. She's got very charmy from Black Clover kind of energy, like a tiny woman rather than a little girl.
Yes,
and it's like unplumbed depths of power and skill.
Also, the what's the god's name again? They keep saying it, and I keep forgetting his name.
Peltrola.
Petropola. It zooms in on his face when he's trying to win her over to the dark side by presumably killing her. And I was just like, oh, he's got like a regular human detailed face. I kind of preferred it in the cartoony look. That's much more disturbing. He just has a glowy nose that throws you off, like basically, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's going down in the basement. Meanwhile, we have our cadets going, yeah, that went great. We've got to go and there's 4 of us. Where's the 5th guy? He should be on our team. We find him in the gym where he's lost all confidence. But he realizes now he doesn't have to fight the
most muscular man in
the muscular guy from the pink team. Then he instantly regains all his musculature and rejoins the team.
That felt like fetish art, man, where his abs are like appearing back again. I was just like, I don't know, there's some weird inflation shit going on there.
I don't know, it was kind of like a robot combining together.
And then it seems like the guy who's got the yellow key is going to betray them and hand it over to the elite team.
With D hiding under the table bravely, like just like going like, yes, you're a bastard like the rest of us.
But he doesn't, he doesn't do it.
And then D's like, brilliant, you're an idiot, and I need foolish people on my team. And it's like, you're talking about friendship and loyalty and shit like that. And you're going like, you fool, I've tricked you into my scheme. It's like, no, you're developing friends, D, you fucking moron.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's how many of them as well that sure was similar going, I want to tear down this whole thing, man. It's like, I believe in justice no matter what. And it's this, like street justice like I'm trying to do. Yeah. Like, doesn't say that there's so much of what there is online, like, these all kind of outcasts or kind of these, let's say, B team people. They're the ones who are also like not doing too well in this current status quo. So
yeah, and you get the impression from your man with the dyed stripe in his hair, because your one says it's like, oh, didn't you want to become a ranger so you could get chicks? It's just like you should just become a host or something instead. but he was still loyal to his team of losers. So maybe there's more to him than just like trying to pick up chicks. I guess we'll find out eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, we get Koguma saying, "Yeah, I don't care that you're a duster. You're part of the team, so I'm not going to reveal your secret." Even when D threatens him, and then
But D threatens him, but he's like, "Yeah, but you're not a shit though. Like you're a decent guy. I can fucking tell."
Okay, buddy, I'm real scared. Yeah, I bet you are. Oh, yep.
Oh, you can turn your hand into a knife, huh? Why don't you fucking do it then? It's like D's like, it's like, yeah, because we're a team, idiot. You haven't figured that part out yet.
And meanwhile, we've got Double X wandering around with Patrola, looking absolutely scared out of her wits by.
I wanted to get out here. I wanted to get back to killing all humans, but not like this. Not like this.
You know, Kaiju, if it's going to be killing humans, maybe organized killing humans. And we meet in the abandoned quarry every Sunday. We just duke it out. None of this like roaming the hallways, shooting people, slaughtering.
Yeah. And it was really nice to get your man's kind of conversation with D, and it's like, oh wow, I found a newfound hope. I'm going to be a hero for me, not just supporting my friend who obviously abandoned me. I can be a hero too, and wanders into a corridor exactly where that guy's like, oh, someone to murder. It's just like, god damn it, I can't catch a break.
Well, he does catch a break though, because he does run back, and he's the one who hurts Peltrola, for reasons we'll discover later on in the episode.
He does save the number one thing by she's like, get out of here, kid, and he kind of runs in, pushes her into an elevator, and gets shot for his trouble.
Yes, but then his body's disappeared, and it's clearly Double X has replaced him.
Yes.
At the end of the episode.
Because he took one like right to the heart.
And Patrol guy kind of went like, hey, take care of the body there, Double X. I got my wings shot off, so I'm going to go fucking take a power nap, regenerate a little bit, and we'll get back to wandering down corridors and killing humans indiscriminately when I get back. And so I assume she's like, this is bad. I need to figure out a different fucking plan. Maybe I could pretend to be a guy pretending to be trying to get into the Rangers.
It's a 2 million layers of deception for me right now. And what we were doing wasn't even very deceptive. We were just shooting people in the corridors.
Yeah,
because we also get later on because the tutors then decide that we got to go and hunt this monster and not deal with the exam, but we're not going to tell the cadets. We're just going to let them carry on doing their exam, because now all the keys are in play. They can fight each other for the keys.
Yeah. There's no reason to cancel the exam. I mean, like the scheduling, it's just going to be too much. Like, and this is as they're basically wandering onto a murder scene. Well, what looks like a murder scene because it's just blood smears and laser fire, and it's just like no bodies though. This is really bad.
No need to cause an alarm. We can probably take care of this. It's like, everyone, go get your stuff. We're going to hunt this thing down.
Yeah, get your pseudo legendary weapons, and we'll go get this.
Meet back here in 15. Bring some sandwiches, pot of coffee. The thermos will come to do it. There's no way this is going to spill over, into the exam.
Into the exam,
right
into the
next
car
door.
park. No way. Car parks, as you know, do not connect to the corridors, so it'll be grand. Yeah.
And it turns out the loser group have a secret weapon in this duel. Is that Koguma had figured out how to make their basic weapons into a third form, which makes them insanely powerful. Which would be
it does mean they don't last long, but they are way better than your laser swords and way bigger. And even D going like, I can have all the power now. He's just swinging around a giant lightsaber. And just like, you're instantly corruptible by power. That's very funny.
Yes. And then we get another part of Shion's flashback. This time, his older brother going to become a ranger. And D made some sort of comment about how they unlocked their weapons through emotions, even though they just moved them into a separate form. But it turns out that Shion does unlock his weapon through emotions by smashing his weapon into rocks until it also shoots out a massive laser.
It's probably just snapped off at the safety on Valve, and it's just my heart's full of justice too.
Are they like again? D's just like, my emotions unlock my power, because that means that I earned this victory, not just some guy fixed my laser sword. It's like, no, don't hit it against the rock. Oh god damn it! Now you got a big laser sword. But the other part of Shion's backstory is the I assume prior Red Ranger based off of the age fucking things. Basically one like, yeah, your brother was killed by a generic mook. There's no way he was killed by a boss monster. They only appear on Sunday, as you know.
Yeah.
I guess your brother wasn't so tough after all.
Yeah.
Sorry you had to find out this way, pal.
Again, ostensibly, this guy should be on D's side. Fuck the Rangers. They're a bunch of pricks. Yeah.
I know how you feel, young man. Hey guys, we going to get lunch?
Yeah. Just the unfeeling, shitty callousness of them has continued throughout. I mean, like, was the only good guy that blue guy who raised who D is impersonating and his sister? Probably not.
No, probably not. It's possibly the sister is fine to a certain extent as well.
Yeah.
It looks like some of the lower level ones seem to have their own reasons for doing things that aren't, again, possibly because they're not aware of the illusion that's being pulled over people's eyes. But yes, essentially, you just have to believe that everybody has some sort of, or may have an ulterior motive going forward. And
yeah. We've all gone deep cover in this organization all at the same time.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to one another's versus.
Like, you kind of presume some of the tiering system is basically to keep the people destroying the organization at the bottom of the tier. It's like the purpose of it is to, you support yourself by adding in members who are ostensibly against you, but once they rise up through the ranks, it's like, a little bit of power, I could do a little bit more of that, and then they become corrupted by the entire system.
Yeah, because D to a degree is being naive, and we get this in his constant amazement of how devious humans are when he thinks he's being the supervillain here by infiltrating things when everybody
he's technically
else
being the hero as well, because the organization is rotten. So you're trying to improve it by killing it. That's a good thing, D. Good job.
Yeah, and quite possibly your organization was rotten as well, because hey, there's one of your executives wandering around perfectly alive, and he's not done anything to help these dusters who are being kept in the sky to fight.
In the last 12 years, he's done nothing to help them. He's just been randomly going about murdering people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun old series. This episode is not as good as the 2 episodes ago, but I accidentally watched the next episode instead of this one. And I think they saved a lot of their effort for that episode.
Okay. These guys bloggers are talking. Okay, 3 days, 3 episodes in the car park. If one say no, 4th episode in the car park. Come on.
I was kind of watching this one because they were using their laser swords to bust up even more cars than they have before. And I was just like, I'm not going to park on site today because they're doing the tests in the car park. I'm going to park on the road.
I'll be 5 minutes there, but it's no big deal. I'm on cover today, so I'll just take the train.
Like, maybe their insurance covers it, but it's my fucking car. It's got all my cool stuff in it. Come on.
Oh, my fucking MP3 player's in here.
No.
Then we've got more teams of people fighting monsters. It's Kaiju number 8, episode 8. Welcome to the Defense Force.
Well, not so much just initially. After Kafka almost gets killed by Hoshina and escapes from him somehow.
I feel like I made a Hames of talking about the last episode. I was like, what happened besides those guys getting shot a lot? And then I kind of went over and was like, oh no, they did get shot a lot.
Oh, Retro Minority Haro just like, they got like blown to bits. But like Reno says, no, I gotta have the stuff. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be as senpai, who always jumps into the breach and puts something else, and then Haru was just like, no, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna save you because I'm gonna feel like a real dickhead if I let you find myself.
They're both trying to jump in front of the bullets like Mr. President style, and they both get shot up for it, basically. Yeah.
Well, the kind of a savage like they're kind of like they're buds. They're looking out for each other like that.
They're rivals and friends. But yeah, Kafka taking care of number 9, or at least temporarily. 9 goes like, I'm gonna come back to this, and then getting at the start of this episode nearly fucking murdered by his boss, like you say, or the boss,
his superior,
his superior officer,
when just about gets away. She's fucking almost let as a slip again in the hospital, like it's like, or actually, when even Reno does, he wakes up, it's like, oh, what, where am I? It's like, Kikaru, it's Kafka, dude, you're here. It's like, oh, like,
thanks for saving our bacon.
Yeah,
and then you mentioned the hospital bed next to him. It's like, what do you mean? He didn't fucking do anything.
Oh, we meant like, he identified like the weak points of the kaiju there, so it was all good. Oh, I see. Yeah, good spot, old man. Don't call me old man. Not doing that. But it's also kind of like a wind down thing, because it's like, hey, we had like a great big fun operation there. Maybe you've earned this, lads. Like, it's like I have a big fucking like sit in cook. We got the beers in. We got all the kind of catering in from your fella with the kind of tied up like hair. What's that called again? It's going up on in that, but he's kind of like He comes from a prestigious family of arms manufacturers.
So why is he involved in the use of those arms? I don't think we've ever gotten into that.
No, I suppose
comic, anyway.
No, not so much. It's difficult to get the sense of him, because he gets like a little aside there, like he has like one of the, I guess, the family butler or something like that. He's brought on this like great like A plus like Wagyu beef for the grill. It's like, oh, I didn't even know that they had a credit worker in that time. And I feel like
I did like the little joke of like, it's like, it does not come in a grade higher than that grade. This is past the highest grade. We have made shit up.
Yeah, I feel like he was maybe like meant to have like a bigger like thing in a bigger kind of part as part of the cast all going on. But I don't think.
The thing I was thinking about it was like, a bunch of the cast seems like they should have got more development, but a lot of that's coming in the what's the B stories in the manga?
There's B-sides, it's
just B-sides.
Captain Hoshina around, or Vice Captain.
So I'm wondering if they're going to get into a lot of those other characters, like inside stories, and kind of flesh them out that way, which is a good way to do it. So I'm not against it.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta say, because there's little kind of moments here, like fun. You could have been heading the company, young master. Like, why do you join the forces? It's like, it's just like something I gotta do. I gotta just kind of sit back, and just let this like raking the dough while people are having their houses like crushed in. But then it never gets back around to them. It's just a lot of these like side guys. As much space has been brought in, like here, like we can't go out the overs, and only can have some of them, like Reno and Iharu have their little thing now. It's like, now we're rivals / friends, so we're going to be besting each other. Like, we can't beat Kiku with fun. Now it's battle for second place in the squad. That's what we're trying to do here.
yeah.
But it's all like all the grand piss up for everybody.
And in the slap up meal at the end of it, Kafka gets a promotion to basic, like the most base level of soldier.
Well, he's not a cadet now. He's officially in. He's just you've proven your valor, like in the college.
And your information was actually really fucking useful. Like that operation could have been a lot messier. So yeah, absolutely, you're getting promoted to the base fucking level. You're not not an intern.
It was Hoshina recommended him because there's 3 reasons. It's like he's like he's got guts. It goes for a lot. He puts his knowledge to work and doesn't try and go like hog out of glory. And he makes me laugh, so I gotta have him in.
I like the combination with Kafka Hoshina, kind of like where like Hoshina is a terrifying thing with like your boss just tried to kill you at the start of this episode. He promotes you in the big slap up meal during the episode, and then you see him later training, like doing like image training to specifically kill you in that fight from the start of the episode. Kafka's like, I'm having a fucking wild swing of emotions in this situation. I like this guy. I respect this man. He fucking terrifies me.
Yeah. You see him like he's like a fairly like svelte gentleman like in his uniform. You're seeing him there like in his gym gear. It's like fun. Yeah, he's like fucking compacted. He's like a real Bruce Lee kind of frame to him, as you can believe in this. Also, this is like a nice kind of bonding meal we can have all together. Was mostly fun saying, "Hey, communication squad, what's the fuck that fucking radio phone going down the middle of the mission? You could have gotten us all killed." Well, you shouldn't have gone out of rain now, shouldn't you? It's like they're all just like taking this opportunity to fun dig in each other. I guess the beer is going through their heads. So,
but I like the fact that this was a way for them to get those frustrations out, but also talk about the mission and get some back and forth. It's like, okay, so we should tell you if we're going to go into an area of radio fucking silence and that kind of them hashing it out like this in a friendly situation is grand, and it's actually beneficial to them as a cohesive unit, basically. It's all put together very well. Also, number 9 randomly kills a guy and steals his car.
He needed the car.
He needed the car.
I mentioned fun saying, my body I was using is getting all fucked up. I should probably get a fresh one. He'll do. He's got a car. All right. And the swooping again to kind of put a damper on all of that like positivity. There's some flying monsters with a very I actually didn't know like in from the comic like it's in black and white or occasionally gray. Like he's this like another numbered kaiju is rolling in. He's like riding on these like kaiju birds, arms folded, looking totally badass.
I was thinking because of the red in the arms folded, it was giving me M. Bison vibes. I don't know. That's the kind of thing I was thinking.
M. Bison, if he was a Zoonoid, like or a Guyver character, yeah. But the bright red is like, wow, okay, like it's not like, it's kind of like in the wild, he's like, these creatures are these kaiju are constantly evolving. He's just like, this is bright red. That's usually like very poisonous, very dangerous. It doesn't need to camouflage itself. It's just like, I'm here. Don't touch me.
When we get to the guy, I think it'll at the bright red. Again, I was kind of surprised by the color choice, but in terms of this guy, this isn't a sneak around, fucking kill you kind of kaiju. This is a Red Baron type. It's like, look at me, I'm ostentatious, I want to fight, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, we got more on him. Yeah. I'm looking forward to now. It's picking up like a bit here now, and
yeah.
like kind of fun. It's like, here's all these characters are giving a little bit of their side story fun and saying, we got another number of kaiju coming in. I wonder if any of them might get killed in this next incident.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still good. I'm still enjoying the comic, like, so I knew I'd enjoy the show, and yeah, it's just still like has a little flashes of like animation niceness to kind of keep me sated. Yeah.
Then we've got Train to the End of the World, episode 10, a true symbol of rebellion and decadence.
Again, two-ish halves.
It is.
Yeah.
And after I finished watching it, I looked up who had worked on it. And of course, once I saw Nabashin was the storyboard artist, I was like, okay, that makes a lot of this makes a whole lot more sense. Yeah, the first half is they find the dad and I guess other two middle-aged men.
They were firemen or something who set off.
They were. Yeah, it was like a honey badger, an okapi, and an aardvark.
Yes, whatever they were, they're not that anymore.
No, they are. They're like plush versions of that, essentially. Yeah. Because they do appear to be. They're coming out. They have to put the brakes on the train because these plush animals. Train card has went off the trails, and this is like they're like we'll fucking face off against them, and then it's like, Dad, are you a plush animal Wolverine now rather than a regular Wolverine, which is what you turned into 2 years ago? It's like, yes. It's like,
well, he looks more like a cartoon character. The other ones definitely look like mascot suits because they're tearing at the yes.
I mean, like, if you could make a mascot suit that fucking small, because obviously, Wolverine quite fucking small.
Yeah.
But I love the conversation between her and the dad where she's kind of like, it's like, why haven't you come back in 2 years? I know, I'm just checking things out. But I've written to your mother, and it's like those letters aren't helping. The shot of the letter is like, I'll be home soon, and that's the entire body of the.
No, it's like gonna be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And this again, it's always like heartbreaking. It's like there's this red panda in a neighbor, and it's just like alone and just like consumed by melancholy. It's just like it's a happy little like treat, funny little scamp. It's just like you're just depressed.
Because your louse of a Wolverine husband has not come home in 2 fucking years. But he's trying to explore shit, but he has to double back now because they got fucked up in the next town over. So watch out, girls.
Is he a Wolverine? I think he looks more like a wombat.
See, I think they call him a Wolverine, but I don't know in the cartoon form. I don't have a fucking clue. What
like would say more like realistic form. I thought it was some kind of matter of badger family.
Yes,
thing.
I think he was. I was assuming that he'd been turned into a completely different animal by the people in the second half of the episode.
I don't. I think it's just it can't change your inherent thing. That's because he kind of like in a particular style, so that's made him kind of cute. But then they turn fucking Shizuru into an animal character.
So he might be like half Wolverine, half a different cute cartoon character, so he's an amalgamation of both that isn't either. Basically, he's a cartoon mascot is what he
which are the most appealing aspects of these animals combined together.
Yeah
Little Robin Hood hat.
It does make them say cutesy things at the end of their sentences as well, so there's that as part of the transformation.
They essentially have to convince him not to come with them and to go back home. And
they're
also,
like, hey, will he be able to get past that part that flooded in the first part that we did before? It's like, that bit's fine.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they are also just hand waving that away.
yes.
Grand.
And also, they get really annoyed that he keeps on saying the cutesy Kira thing that the people in the second episode have added to his dialogue.
Which appears to be part of his transformation, but he thinks it's cool. So
yes.
yeah.
Well, they managed to steal a beret off one of them.
And obviously, the only one who takes the beret is the fashion-forward one of the group.
And
Because
revolutionary, it's a symbol of rebellion and revolution.
Decadence.
Yeah, it's and apparently I think he mentions early on that there's a subscription fee to it because gotta get a dig in at Adobe as well during this episode.
Nice,
Yes.
fucking good shit. See, I was wondering what the green beret part was, and I was like, is that something? Because like that generally has a different connotation, but like, is it just? Yeah, I don't know. It might be something to.
Well, no, funny.
might-
If trying to be creative out there, like it's war zone, it's a battlefield.
Yeah, see, that's what I was
Yes.
thinking initially, but
Yeah,
like,
I think that might be what it is. But as soon as I saw what they were like, and the people who turned them into this were wearing these berets, I was like, okay, we've got evil manga artists in the second half,
Yes.
and that is indeed what we've got.
In the tradition of Tezuka, I will wear the beret. It's like, oh, come on, man. Wasn't the only one out there, you know. It's cool to like other things.
So when they roll up on the next town, they're just like, oh, we just keep fucking going. Oh, we just keep going through. And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then they have to haul on the brakes because there's a giant fucking Silent Hill like chasm between that and the next bit of rails. It's like, well, shit. Okay, I guess we do definitely have to stop now. And that's when they're assaulted by a trio of aspiring manga artists.
Yes.
Questionable fashion choices.
Yes, there was a fourth called Mr. T. Apparently, we don't see what happened to him beyond the weird
He was
animals.
mauled by a wolverine. It's not fucking good.
Yeah, he was eaten by an okapi. You wouldn't expect it, I know, but they'll go for you.
So these are the people who messed up the Derry Alley town. They
introduced a new plot element. What if the bad guys won? Oh, real
Well,
fucking
my personal
original.
headcanon,
Okay.
you know, I went with something like this. Is like, no, put your fucking headcanon.
Because these guys are
Mr.
very
Gunhead.
against genre convention
headcanon.
stuff. So the idea of the bad guys winning after the good guys have won is really avant-garde.
It's a deconstruction.
Yeah.
It's postmodern.
Yes. Yeah, it's the first attack, Gekiga Beam.
Gekiga Beam, yep, is fine. I gotta do this now in the Gekiga style. You know, it was like classic hardball stories.
So one of them gets turned into like a realistic, old-fashioned anime character.
Yes.
The other one gets turned into God. What's that one with the really long chins? That's what it was giving me vibes of. I know it's more like
It's supposed to be like a hot-blooded 80s.
Yeah. Which suits her down to the ground.
Very angular. It's a little bit Joey from Yu-Gi-Oh, which is probably the hair that Raimi has is probably gonna be there, and of course Joey has that face. He does the Antonio Inoki face. It's just like
I was thinking the Kaiju as well with the very sharp nose.
It's a bunch of things that's got all colliding in there.
Yeah.
Let's just turn Shizuru into like an animal mascot. It's much simpler to follow. Okay, I get that.
And she can't do karate on you, so you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, and also more importantly, it's just humiliating her the same way her dad was.
Yes.
I appreciate how when they get changed to different styles, how like their voices like change to match. Desco and Raimi, they get like kind of deeper and rougher, and then Shizuru goes even more high pitched. I'm cute. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
She sounds like a completely different voice actor in the old-fashioned thing, where she's using like more honorific kind of language and being like
the language as well. Yeah,
just good stuff.
But they made their match with Akira because she's better read in art than the manga artist.
Yes. She initially summons what is it? Is it Dadaism to take one of them out? Oh, it's not Dada. It's
German Expressionism. It's the first attack.
German Expressionism, yes. Get a bunch of monk painting coming up.
What if the Scream attacked you? Like thousands of it. It's just like, oh, that would suck. Yeah.
And then the hat gets passed around so each one can fire off their interests at the manga artists. So we get the BL beam.
I'm hit. Oh, Tonica, are you okay? No, it's just look at me with those eyes. I'll be fine if just
Like-
stop looking at me like that.
It seems to work more so on the one woman manga artist than the two guys that they shot it with, because she's like, oh my god, I'm into this.
One which turns them into chibis, and then they start going on about how
Old fashioned
there's
there and whatnot.
no demand for us anymore, and then they get turned
Mm-mm.
into a sports manga.
Ah, dear. Yeah.
And so they just give up. Until like we're going to lose at this rate. So have the hats, we're going.
I think it was more so the sports manga is like, we don't
done.
need these stinking hats, and throws off the hats. It's like all of them take the hats. It's like, oh shit, we fucked up. So after getting tied up and attempting to explain their backstory, actually they attempt to explain their backstory but get tied up during it. Because everyone's supposed to stand still when you're giving your backstory, but you guys stuck around and tied us up while we were doing it. And we didn't even get to fucking 7G. We were explaining that we were failed manga artists. Like, that's as far as we'd gotten. Well, we're going to cancel our subscription. That's the first thing. It's very fucking expensive to keep those hats going, apparently.
And then they warned them about Yoka.
But it can't be her. She didn't have hair that long. Hair doesn't grow long, does it?
2 years. It's been 2 fucking years, and she already had pretty long hair.
It's not impossible. No, different haircut. Can't be the same girl. No way.
Character designs don't change. Yeah.
But they do have Pontaro identified via the photo that they got from the delivery driver.
Yeah. Denjiro says, we're probably fucked, but the possibility might be unfucked if you somehow stop the 7G and put Ikebukuro back to normal. No guarantees. It's just like, relaying what the scientists relate to influence saying, oh, it's going to expand outwards because it's collapsing and stuff really quick. So we're kind of fucked, but we might not be if you girls get the Ikebukuro on time.
And as she has stated to her dad, is like, I'm not interested in saving the world. I just want to say sorry to my friend.
Yes. But by the end of the episode, they've realized that, okay, to save our friend, we've got to save the world. So I guess we're going to have to be heroes as well as friends.
Yeah.
It's like,
but yes.
Do we have to? So it's like, you can just imagine and go, do we have to? Though? We couldn't turn around. We've said we're going to do it multiple times right now. So it's definitely like, this thing in all was fun. Saying, no, yeah, we should go back. Just forget about it.
Yeah. They also get the explanation of people being turned into egg custards because there's a sign saying up how many people have been arrested and how many people have been turned into egg custards. Also, once the hats are removed, then the train line and the chasm disappears and the train line fills in.
Everything that affected the world with their manga powers has it reverses because you're not paying the subscription. You don't have access to Adobe anymore. So yeah.
Yeah. A gloriously daft episode.
Like I fucking like how it's again, it left the door open really early on for anything to happen anywhere along this train line. And it's just well, there's something in every artwork. There's like it's become like an artwork about artwork like so many times now. I'm very curious to see like how it ends and what if it has any kind of like grand thing about it. I feel like it's really like made to kind of case for itself this multiple times already before even getting to the end. So as long as you could just go a super happy ending route, it would still be a fairly solid little kind of series end to end.
Yeah, I feel like it's more concerned with being a wild romp than it is about having like a serious note. It's like, hey, sorry, I was a dick. I forgive you. 7G is undone. The world is fixed. Like it could go something that fucking simply, but also with some stupid jokes and wild animation ideas in it. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think people saying Mizushima had to go and say, I'm going to have to stop posting on Twitter because the deadlines are getting closer and closer for each of these episodes.
Oh, God, stay on Newton, man. This could be like kind of Space 92. It feels like was how wildly it might change from episode to episode.
Yeah, and I only found this episode was because it uses lots of stills, which is where it feels very Nabishin, is in the use of the stills. I think that's probably going to help them catch up on time. But it's done in such a way that it's clever, that
Like the stills are jokes because they're references
Yes.
like an old cartoon style, or like the
Yes.
joke still end, the performance still works. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And this episode was by the Zombieland Saga writer.
Okay.
Was who wrote it?
They're a good one for a satire. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, regional based satire. Speaking of which, I started watching a movie because I saw the trailer for the live action Cells at Work.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked better than the anime did. I looked up who directed it, and I remembered, it's the person who did, what's it called? Is it called Let's Go to Saitama? Or something along those lines. Fly to Saitama.
Fly Me to Saitama.
That's it. That's the one. Yes. So I grabbed that, and I've started watching that. And so far,
cool.
It's been very good. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But a lot of fun. But yeah, the trailer for Cells at Work has got like massive musical numbers in it.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, this kind of works better than the anime did. It's kind of really, really going for it.
It'd be a lot grosser, I bet.
Yeah, that's the. I feel like it becomes more surreal when you've got real people playing those parts.
Yeah.
Then, talking of real people, Root of OddTaxi, episode 10. Children are the clamp.
That's a beautiful sentiment that, as a title, does not fucking sound that.
It doesn't work until you get the punchline at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
You gotta stay together for the kids. That's how. That's all they're good for, right?
Yes, except of course the punchline of the story, as he's telling, inverts that.
Yeah.
Itself, which is why it ends on a sad note, but also on a very funny joke.
A sad note, a hopeful note, but also a funny joke. I was like, yeah, it's a good combination and of stuff. Like this is the episode this week that made me cry a little bit, but also fucking laugh. And I think you'll know exactly the fucking scene of it's Otakawa's face.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking that fucking smash cuts and everything, man. That was funny as shit.
Getting the award, yeah.
Yeah. So good, so fucking good. No further explanation needed. Perfect.
It's just, I was Kaki had almost find himself with this fucking this fucking crosshairs and everything. Well, somehow always works out for him.
I've been watching the YouTube channel as well, the where they put up like the mystery kiss like song or like some behind the scenes stuff, and there's the man who plays Kakihana there this week, and he just kind of like turns to the camera like, there's that weird fucking smile that he does, like a really awkward thing, the exact same one that I assume he was practicing for that fucking the getting the big check. And I was just like, man, that guy's fucking perfect. Like, just what a fucking great guy. Just something about his expression. It's so sad and pathetic and funny. And like, man, everything. It's turning out all right for you, Kakihana. I'm glad for you. Good for you.
He's the Millhouse of OddTaxi.
Well, yeah, definitely is. Yeah, so the final bit of tragedy is that our murderess has been doing all this murdering under false pretenses.
See, basically,
context is key here.
From our perspective, so it was leading us down the thing. I was like, I'm totally fucking Donraku's daughter. I'm the secret daughter. I should get everything that was deserved to me as the illegitimate child of Donraku.
Ma'am always turned the telly off because when Donraku was on, because obviously I was another one of his famous love children. Of course, that's it. It's like, what are you talking about, you fucking dope? Your father fucking left us to go study under Donraku and never came back, the piece of shit. So I fucking hate Donraku. Hit me phone to my husband away. Leave me alone to praise it by myself.
He reminds me of your piece of shit dad.
When are you going to make something of yourself? Because that's the thing which was in the anime, was her mum yelling at her to make something of herself.
And the kind of thing of her like hanging up on her mom and still talking on the phone to a perceived mother. I was like, this is not the first time you've had this conversation, is it? Yeah.
Well, I'm in too deep now. Can't stop. Might as well call this taxi. and say, "Oh no, right, don't need to go anywhere. Right here is fine. No loose ends."
Meanwhile, though, I've stabbed some other people before I got here.
The lead up to
Because-
it is actually fucking excellent as well. Yeah, because she gets some use out of that knife, some stabbings in. No murders, no extra murders, but yeah.
Yes, because they lure her out. The detective agency do, because the police are not interested.
Oh, how pathetic the fucking police are! And it's like, yeah, but there's no fucking case because your man, who's the one witness, has a visual agnosia, isn't it? And they're just like, yeah, but we got all this evidence. They're like, yeah,
Dash cam footage.
could you take that with you? Because we don't want any junk clogging up the police office. It was like, it's like, but your one didn't do the murder. Like she said, she disposed of the body, which we understand is a crime. But and they're like, yeah, she won't change her story.
She's sticking to her story.
It's like, what a dick! This is gonna make it so much paperwork for us. And I was like, these fucking cops, man.
Well, that's it. Like, I've read enough I read and watched enough of what Japanese would say true crime or true to crime or kind of this. It's just like they just want to find the one who fit the case.
Yeah,
like the most. So it's despite like one thing. Yeah, I know we got evidence, but we're already we've already signed in at a time with this lad, so he's going to be our man. We'll just make it all fit. Don't you worry about it. Go back to your daily lives, citizens.
This shows a very much a good detective story, like your old-fashioned pulp detective story, rather than a modern-day police procedural. Because the police won't save you; only a private detective can fucking solve the mystery. And I love the fact that the head of the private detective guy, I keep forgetting, like, he's a master of disguise, and in this case, he's disguised as bucket hat. But I mean, like, it fucking works. So don't doubt it.
Yeah. So first of all, Sato gets stabbed, protecting Rina.
Yeah, because basically they confront her. It's like, oh, Dad, you said you'd meet me here, and he's like, it's me, the master detective of disguise. They were like, hey, Rina, I'm going to try and talk you down because I came from a similar position that you are in right now, and I came down from it and became a better person. I think you can too. And she's like, oh yeah, pulls a knife, tries to stab her, but your man takes the blade, and really doesn't get enough credit for getting stabbed this episode. He doesn't get a check.
No.
Poor guy. It's funny, yeah.
Yes, because also at the same time, Kakihana is in the same park with his delaying his loan sharks.
You're not allowed to. This got robots coming through. You gotta
like,
pay up by tomorrow, Kakihana. Get your money soon.
I'll get your money later today, and it's like, no, it's not going to be good enough. It's like, I'll get it later this month. It's just like, it's like, no, they're going to take you into this park and beat the shit out of you because she ran away from her first stabbing with on a taxi and calls her mom, has that conversation that, I mean, like, I'd say further pushes her off the fucking edge, but I feel like she's been well off the edge for some fucking time at this stage.
Yeah. We also get this is a bit. When is it later on? I think it's later on where we get that Sato had been eating the poisoned cat food, the fertilizer.
I tasted some. I licked it. Actually,
why did you do that? I
Yes.
don't know. It was just going
Poison.
that way.
I think it's poison. I don't know how cat food tastes. I don't know. But yeah, she like we saw the thing. She finds out a cow. He's like, you don't recognize me. He's like, no. And it's like, where do you want to go? And it's like, here is fine. Goes in to stab, but obviously your man's on the run from his loan sharks. Like dives into the taxi. Otokawa, you gotta save me! And in that split second, he makes the hero's fucking decision and dives in front of the blade for his best friend Otokawa, who did fucking save him recently. So yeah, it's a sensible reaction.
Quite ironic, but the added irony is that if he'd taken Imai's offer of a reward, he could have helped him even more by given him the money to pay off the loan sharks.
Yeah, I mean, this could have been solved in multiple fucking ways, but him getting stabbed, I guess, is the way we've decided this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And presumably the two gangsters pull her off him getting stabbed, because like we can't have him being stabbed. He does owe his money. So it all worked out in the end, and he gets a check from the police in a thing that made me laugh really fucking hard. Just
that hard cut is amazing.
It's just straight to it. It's like, of course, this would happen to him.
Yeah.
And then Rina's he's getting yelled at by her hacker friend, who's complaining that they gave all the stuff on the computer to the police. So she's had to
That
shut down
puts a big fucking target on me, guys. That's really fucked me over. And also, yeah, I already removed the video camera because I cover my tracks as an illegal hacker. That's what I do. Don't give it to the police. What the fuck are you doing?
But
do
there's
you want
someone
all
else
this
you
other
gotta give it
stuff?
to.
So yeah, then we get the final bit of Donraku with him looking at the stuff on his daughter's phone.
He was about to quit. It's just like, doesn't feel right to go ahead, but like, no, I have the one true name ceremony now. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's like, feel like, part of all that, that life I led kind of was like what kind of engineered the bit of this, so I can't have it go on. But just look at check these out. Some nice videos on there. Nice photos too. And it's like a little interview to a reporter, but it's just like, oh, well, like, since moving to Tokyo, I've spent more time with my dad. I've always like that. It's just like, he's really encouraged me. So, like, even though it's tough, I want to go all the way. And
Like
it's just
the
like,
combination of her story where it's the first time she's actually it's not that she's being like a bad person, because again, she even in death she continues to be a good person, where she's just like, yeah, I mean, like, dad wasn't really there while I was growing up because he was off doing his career, but he kind of inspired me to push for what I wanted, and actually spending time with him makes me respect that more. And it's just kind of like, it's basically an inspiring speech to both the mom and the dad, because she's also like, it's like, yeah, my mom fucking had to put up with this guy as well, so I kind of appreciate her more now. And the parents are both there looking at this video on their daughter's fucking phone, and I was like, oh man, this is really upsetting.
going to bits,
yeah. Really good stuff, like, and good acting, like good reacting from them, of course. Yeah.
No, God, do it for her. I'm gonna go through the whole thing. I'm gonna go through. And it's cool, like, it was like, I don't see too much Rakugo, but outside of other media.
Sure. But it's the idea that the story is of the dad coming back to the family, because children are the clamp that keeps the family together, is the punchline of the thing. But it's the idea that he can't go back to his family because his daughter's fucking dead, but his daughter has inspired him to keep doing this thing. And you can see that his emotions from this whole incident, he's pouring them into the Rakugo, and it's affecting the audience. So, like, yeah, he's becoming, by doing this, it's like he's honoring his daughter's memory and stuff, but he's also like becoming a better storyteller from it.
Yeah, and also this is the first time we've seen him performing in either of the series, and
he's actually pretty good, like, because he's like on TV, I'm just like, yeah, the fucking politicians, they're all a bunch of bastards, he's just complaining about the youth, but actually not. He's a good storyteller, like, that's why he was going to get promoted.
He does all the voices.
The energy transformation is completely different, and the final punchline is hilarious of this story, which is sad because we're intercutting it with flashbacks of the daughter. And we see Sato bawling his eyes out. We get the funny bit where he thinks he's on a date with Rina, and everyone else has come along as well. And then he's made to sit. It's sit like, behind
hey,
her.
You're one from the detective agency here, and your friend, and our boss. Everyone's coming. It's like, yeah, I got everyone tickets. It's like, cool. Can I sit beside? It's like, no, can't sit beside her. All right.
You see that you're sitting next to the boss. Oh man.
And then unfortunately, it's not translating what school she's enrolled into.
Because she's tearfully leaving the detective agency. Even the boss, like, getting a big sobby eyes. It's like, you can come back and be a private investigator, whatever. I was like, oh, it's all right, boss. She's gonna come back once she gets her high school diploma. It'll be cool. But like you say, they don't say what she's.
It looks like she went to, like, I don't know, other kind of centers where, like, you can just go back and you can, like, take a comparative exam that would get you your cert.
Like a repeat year, that kind of thing.
But very good. It's an astounding add-on to OddTaxi, which was an astounding show to begin with.
Yeah.
That's like it's just like part of, like, the thing of OddTaxi was, like, there was, like, a killer in her midst, and there's just, like, all this thing happens now, and, like, we never really caught the full thread of it. It was just like, there's almost kind of the mystery just disappears off into the darkness. It's just like, okay, that's kind of intriguing in its own way. So it was a risk to kind of think, oh, we're going to go and kind of really expand that out now, take some of that mystery away. But
because we're following these characters, and that's what it was in OddTaxi, you're following all these different characters' stories that are interlacing. So you only see it from that perspective.
That's the skill, yeah.
And these characters seeing the same story that we're already aware of through a different perspective, like, gives us a new kind of feel in it. Like, I one of the things that I thought was a great fucking choice was to give the murdered girl like so much backstory, so many like interconnected things around her, because she's just the MacGuffin essentially at the start of the story. So yeah, it gives it a lot more kind of human kind of nature towards the whole thing. And like you said, Brian, the fact that OddTaxi was so good and this is so good on top of it, just riches upon riches. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's not like it's like unraveling the pattern. It's kind of just like actually putting more just like threads, more kind of like things into it. It's
making it
adding on to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Should have let you have a rap though. That's the
would have had to get a rapper in. Yeah, like he was a minor character in this story. I think was the reason they just didn't get a rapper in. But
no,
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it would be more distracting, but he's the one thing which makes me think, oh, it's not quite the same world, because there's no reason why he'd be hallucinating in rapping, particularly at times when he's not there.
Yeah. It suits the dreamlike quality of them being animals more. I was also thinking, if they do another series, could they get like someone else with like visual like nausea and freaking have them in mascot suits and do the whole thing like deadly fucking serious, but everyone's wearing an animal suit? I was like, probably not, but it would be very funny. But
No, well, we'll see. I'm interested to see what the people who made this do in other live action things as well, because it's very well directed.
Yeah,
splendid stuff. Then we've got Bartender, Glass of God, episode 10, A Thorn in the Heart.
Ouch. They're really like going a bit too hard and trying to get Rewind for this bar. Because now we've published a flyer, we had the grand opening, and there's a picture right on it with the photo from the cocktail award. It's just really not respecting fucking boundaries here.
But like the way they kind of get around it is like, obviously the billionaire guy kind of shows up at his bar. Is like, I fucking always get what I want. Is like, oh, is this like a Scrooge McDuck type guy? It's like, oh, I'm bastard, lots of money, and I always get what I want. But the way they get it across later is like, no, he's doing this for your benefit. That kind of fucking thing is like, no, he's not being a dick about it. He's forcing the issue because you need to move past this.
I suppose that's it. Like, no, you're all trying to fix people. How about let somebody else fucking fix you for a change?
And that's what a lot of this episode kind of focuses in on, because it's your one kind of going to his old senpai and going like, tell me the story of how he killed a man with bartending. And it wasn't like I thought, like he met a guy or got a guy so drunk he leapt
you were
off
close.
The building.
It's just this whole thing when a person comes approaches you. Or what kind of person would they approach and they say they want to end their life? They're going to end it all right here. Well, would it be a priest?
They go to a priest or a
bartender. So we're outside of fucking us. We're going as fun and taking we're visiting also doctors. We're visiting also priests and other religious officials. So we're like work that in there as well.
End of life counseling, or like a freaking what do you call the guy who talks you down from the fucking building?
Hostage negotiator.
Negotiator. Yeah. It's like bartending is a very fucking dangerous occupation.
You gotta be good at a lot of things there, yeah.
Because like your man says, like usually everyone comes into my shithole of a bar and goes like, I want to die, and I'm like, sure you do, buddy, and I get him drunk.
Yeah, well, it's pretty good. Yeah. So you've got all your problems right now.
Yeah. It's I get him drunk first, and then I see if it's actually a problem, and then I do have to talk them down off the fucking ledge. Even in my shithole bar, I have to provide this service, and Ryu thinks he fucked up because this guy came into him and said, hey, what do you think I should do about this whole situation? And he's like, if only I'd served him a different drink, perhaps he wouldn't have killed himself.
Or seemingly fallen off somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think the deal was, dude, he was looking for liquid courage, and your job is to serve liquid courage is basically the thing. So yeah.
Yeah. It's just all happening around him while he's dealing with one of the regulars who was like Mr. Cigar Box from a few episodes ago.
I like that as the kind of contrast in it. As this guy comes into him, it's like, man, I'm getting promoted. I'm going overseas. He's like, wow, that's great. He's like, yeah, I got
regret because
I stood your one up on after I asked her out at the end of that other
time
episode.
off work to go meet her.
And I'm regretting it because I've ordered 2 of these delicious cocktails that you just gave me. Because one is for my dead wife who died while I was overseas doing the very job that I've been promoted on. It's like, yeah, you should probably like follow your heart rather than your career, because your career has not made you fucking happy, dipshit. And you can't say that because you're a bartender. And that's not your.
And she comes in and they go have a little date, and he kind of drops the son off and saying, "Oh, but like I thought you I thought you moved out like to the country to Ruras before," and saying, "Yeah, but I came back because this was a temporary thing." It's just like, oh, I thought like that ship at sail. That's why I took this promotion. Well, what do I do?
So Ryu takes him to his old senpai's bar, and his senpai's like, well, as you know, gambling and bartending, that's basically the same thing. And that's why I'm good at rolling these dice upside down in a cup. And it's really difficult to stack all, 5 dice on top of each other?
Well, it's when they give you a good feel for like the dice and the shaker as well.
It's practice for that. So he's like, there's like a 30%, maybe, no, not 30%. Like it's a really low chance.
1 in 30 chance of like, you get a feel for it. You can kind of like wiggle the kind of cup around, and you can kind of get the dice to stack inside the cup.
Stack them while you're shaking it, and then it's like, and I put it down, and if I lift it up, and your man's like, all right, so what are you gonna wish? It's basically like, you make a decision, and we'll put this down, and if I raise it up, and he's like, oh, before you raise it up, I'll have a drink, and I can't order this at the fancy bar, and it's a bourbon in a beer.
A Boilermaker, yeah. You don't necessarily need to do that. Where you would often get it is just like, if you beer in a shot, and then like, maybe you'll, up to you, maybe you can sip of the whiskey, have a little sip of that, or you just like, shot the whiskey, chase it with the beer.
Yeah. But he's doing it in the messiest way possible.
Fucking bombs. So. It's just like, fucking doing bombs here, dudes. Yeah, go. Chug.
You can definitely order those at this bar. I see why he said, like, I wouldn't do this at Ryu's bar. He'd be like, you've made a mess of my counter. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Yeah. But you just need to see the cup, I sort of like Kitakata's style a little bit, because, like, there is, like lads just, like, who just need it kind of told to them straight. It's just like, yeah, like, fun, like, gambling and drinking all goes hand in hand together, like, guys spitting the house on the fucking turn of a card, roll of a dice. But all of the kind of really they're doing is almost like they're trying to like put responsibility for their own life in someone else's hands. Like, saying, if this happens, it means God has ordained that this is meant to happen. So and the guy is like thinking to himself, if it lands all 5 in a row, then I'll stay here and I'll go see her.
Yeah.
But if it don't land all 5, then I'll just go overseas. It's kind of interpreted. That's probably what he's thinking right now. Saying, but I think it's a real badass would actually just like fuck the gambling. I'm just going to do something that I know is right and just do for it. It's like he already knows what it is. Like,
like he has his own version of fancy bartending, because Ryu goes like, oh, actually, the reason why it fizzes up like that is because the alcohol content of the bourbon is higher than the beer, and it causes the...
no, just knock it off, like, Lord Byron. It's because it builds up inside you, it gives you courage.
It lights a fire in you. So
well, I like the sentiment, like, don't look for permission from something else to live your own life, man. Yeah. Like, go out there and fucking take it.
So yeah, he knocks back the drink. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking do it. And then Ryu's like, oh, you're still pretty good at this. You still got it, that kind of shit. And your man's trying to talk him down. And he kind of lifts up the cup. He's like, I got all 5 anyway. It was a rigged game.
Yeah.
Like
the Ryu
thing I do it myself. If I'm stuck between 2 choices, I flip a coin, decide on it, and if it lands on, like, if heads one choice, tails the other, it lands on heads. And if I have a hesitation for half a fucking second, I go like the other choice. That's what I'll fucking do. It's just a way for me to go like, wait, how do I feel in the moment of like heads? I don't want heads. Like, or heads. Yeah, I'm fine with heads. It's like, then I can go with it. That's fine. But I get what they're doing here, where he's just like, it's a rigged game. If he does look at it, I've purposefully stacked these fucking dice, or also I've left the choice up to him, so he'll feel better about having made
it. Meanwhile, that is like, okay, I got to like I went behind his back. I got that story off Kitakata. I got everyone like talked to him about it. I've even gone to Kyoko for advice about this. And it's just like, a headwind. Do you wait for it to pass you by, or do you plow it into it, or something like that? How is that? How's my review? It's pretty good, right? I'm going to go this back and feel it. And she comes in out of the rain. And it's just, she immediately starts talking about some really downer stuff.
The show is very hot and cold with them as a relationship kind of thing, because earlier on with the cigar guy, he was just like, hey, have you got a lover? And he was like, I am only in love with bartending right now.
I'm married to the sea. By sea, I mean alcohol.
But you know, the girl who keeps fucking going after him comes in drenched in rain. He's just like, all right, I
That's
gotta.
talking about some heavy shit. You know, you
Hey,
heard that
if you had to
story from
order,
Gilligata.
what drink would you give to someone who wanted to kill themselves? Out of fucking curiosity, is that you've been talking to my fucking senpai. I was like, yes, I've been talking to your fucking senpai.
I tell you what I do. I do what I do every night, Pinky. I'll make that person the drink they're looking at right now. That would suit them best right now. It makes like fucking it's a very kind of warm. I thought try making a hot whiskey fun. Hot whiskey would be good because you know it's just coming out of the rain.
Stuff,
But
yeah.
it's a similar kind of like kind of warm drink with like kind of thick egg whites on top. It's like kind of almost like just like a mousse consistency.
Yes,
But
yeah.
it's all like it's warm. It's not too sweet. It's not too strong. It's like it's just right. It's because it was just coming out of the rain. It's just his job is to kind of take your mind off of like everything that's going on, and it kind of lift your worries a bit because we are doctors and also priests after all. We got to alleviate your.
It is a sacred duty.
Your physical and spiritual worries.
By talking to him about this and talking him through this, is like, yeah, you made the right choice here. You made the right choice. Then you're not to fucking blame for this. And he's like, so you don't feel bad over that whole thing. And he's like, no, I'm totally over that shit. And she's like, oh, thank fuck. I thought you were still like ed up inside from it, so I didn't need to talk you down or nothing. And he's like, no, I'm grand, kind of thing. Anyway, I'll see you off. Here's a brawly, and it's just like, bartender can never show his emotions. But
tears in the rain.
The rain hides my tears, and it's like, thank you for releasing me from this burden that I was just like, this show is fucking dramatic without fucking doing much. It's very funny.
I was like, well, like Kata, and it's like said, like literally last night, it's like, don't look for permission to go out and live your own life, dude. Just go out and see it. But I'd say, dude, it's like you didn't need permission from her. Just do it. But it's like, no, but I got a person killed. He was gonna fucking die. It's like he's got fucking suicidal tendencies.
A bartender
I put that drink in his hand.
Ah, man, yeah, it's very funny. It's very dramatic, and I guess he'll continue to bartend another day.
I just like having Kata as like in there as his foil to him, you know, he just like blows away from put away that purple prose words.
It's good and everything because you kind of get the thing with Ryu going to his boss. Is like, hey boss, the guy, the millionaire's been on to you. He's like, yeah, he wants you to work in his bar. It's like, so what are you going to do if I leave this bar? What's going to happen to the bar? He's like, I'll fucking close it. It's literally a hole in the wall. This is a very temporary situation I've set up for you because I like you, kid. You know, you need to go on to better things. So it's like him getting permission from her to go on to do better things, that it's not his fault, that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's going to be bad for Kyoko now because if he does hit that hotel bar down and saying, shit, I thought I was going to be the top dog in this bar. He's going to win and just snipe me.
I think she's at the main bar, not the fancy bar, off the main bar. So like that's how it's working, you know.
When it's actually sealed, it's just like, oh yes, no one goes in there. It's forbidden territory. Do
you want to go to the hotel bar or the fancy hotel bar? I was like, oh, I don't know about the fucking fancy hotel bar. Let's go to the regular one.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty hard to land a person who's going to be your psychiatrist, doctor, and priest at the same time. That's got the man's got a lot of resources.
You could just hire a doctor, a bartender, and a priest to stand behind the bar. It's fucking simple as.
Oh, this sounds like a bad joke.
Yeah, still enjoying the show though.
Makes me laugh.
Then we've got another person running a establishment. It is manager Chibi Gabara in Godzilla. Chibi Godzilla Raids Again, episode 9 of season 2.
Until we saw the preview, I didn't think we were getting Gabara. Like I was just, oh, friggin' brilliant! I'm excited now.
Yes.
Yeah, that seemed to be a lot of the comments on the YouTube video. It was like,
I don't know why everyone likes it.
Finally, yes.
Yeah.
Finally doing something with Gabara again. Didn't expect this would be the place that they'd use Gabara.
The perfect place. Perfect place to reintroduce him to audiences. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to remember the title tells us he's the manager of this restaurant. So he's only conning himself in all the things he's doing in the way he works.
So it's fine.
He's pretending to work at the start. He's ignoring the customers by pretending to work.
It's like, it's tough because I'm the only one here. But it's like, what do you do? Whipping up. It's like, I'm just trying to make it look like I'm doing something.
Oh, sorry, we close at noon. When they're about to order.
Lunch is up to noon, and it's just like, it feels like it should be a little after fucking noon, honestly.
And then they give him their orders.
And he's like, "Can you repeat that?" And he's like, "No, you're supposed to repeat it back to us to make sure you got it." It's like, "Ah, he's like, "No, you're supposed to repeat it back to us to make sure you got it." It's like, "Ah, I'll figure it out. It'll be great."
Why you've got a notepad, why aren't you using it? And then he comes back with just a single giant daikon, which he puts in the center of the table and tells them it's salad.
This is some of the most manzai it's ever fucking been, man. I could just see the guy like pretending it's like, "What are you whipping up there?" Sport is like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just trying to make it look like I'm working." I was just like, this is it's nearly prop comedy. He has a bowl, a whisk,
Typical
and a
restaurant
daikon.
sketch.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Good stuff.
Yep. And one for the Gabara fans.
Of which there are many, seemingly.
I had
Listen,
to
I
remind
like him as well.
Legion.
I get it, but I don't know why. But yeah,
Yeah, he's got like a weird cat face, hasn't he?
it's the cat face, it's the little horn, it's the ears, it's the haircut. Like it's all fantastic, basically.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Then we got Delicious in Dungeon, episode 23, Griffin Soup and Dumplings, part 1, in which we have to ask the question, is Senshi a cannibal? As he tells us his background
That's what he
story.
always believed.
It's a harrowing story of survival of, and also they do get the dwarf thing of like, oh, they got the gold fever, but apparently like everyone gets the gold fever. We know that because an entire industry popped up around this fucking dungeon. So
Well, it's also like, is this like the malevolent influence of the dungeon itself? Is it like kind of drawing them in further and further, trying to ensnare them a little bit, and then kill them off one by one?
Yes, because that's the way it's recounted by Senshi, is that he hypnotized them with the gold and then rearranged the dungeon so that they couldn't find their way out again after.
When we became thirsty, water would appear. When we were exhausted, like a room with beds would appear. It was spooky, man.
But we were still struggling to find stuff, so like we had to send out parties to gather food and kind of come back. But it's like, Senshi, you stay here and map the dungeon. It's like, come on, he's only 48, like he's a kid. He can't fucking go out in this fucking shit. Fucking, I forget what age, but it's like in his 40s.
30, it's 35 is what it is.
Not bad.
But he's only a youngin.
He's just a boy.
He hasn't grown his beard yet.
I mean, like, he's starting in this. They've been in there for so fucking long, but yeah.
So as all the dwarves whittled down one by one until we left with the one who thinks they should stop feeding Senshi, begging.
It's just a burden, basically.
And the one who essentially is just the guy who Senshi's grown into being.
The kind of
definitely
the father figure of the team, it's kind of, we gotta take care, we gotta make sure the young ones are taken care of. The next generation, they deserve to live.
Which is the thing Senshi keeps trying to do to Chilichuk and everyone else he perceives as younger than him. Which Chilichuk is, but he is also a grown man. That is the other fucking thing.
The two of them went outside. There was a commotion and screams and like some kind of like something goes on there, and then the head man comes in. Since he's obviously been injured now, his helmet's been kind of like stoved in like a blunt object. He's got like you wait there, lad. I'll just go prepare some food for you.
We finally got that Griffin that's been picking us off. So but he got killed in the thing. So you stay in here. It's a mess out there. I'm gonna bring in the Griffin meat, make it into a stew, and that'll keep us going. All right, I'm gonna head out now. And he never fucking comes back because is a dungeon. It's full of bad things that could do multiple fucking bad things to him. But at this stage, they've already eaten their like horse and everything. So like, you knew they were. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Sally, or is it Anne? Sorry, Anne. It's like, oh no.
Is that what he named the what's the water?
Yes.
Oh yes, he did. He did.
Yeah, the same name. Yeah.
That's right.
It obviously like he doted on that horse, and it's just the fact that it's like, oh, you could be like my new friend. It's like, no, that's a monster that's going to eat you. But that's the thing with this dungeon. It's incredible.
He stayed in there like for days, not daring to go out. Just ate the Griffin jerky, and just like by the time we had looked now, it had picked clean or a few like clothes and everything that was like between monsters and dungeon cleaners, there was just like nothing left. But he had the helmet.
He had the helmet. The rest of his backstory is he got immediately captured by orcs. but then the orcs were like, all right, you seem like you're like a little baby. You seem all right. We'll tell you which mushrooms are cool to eat and send you off on your way.
Well, and he
taught them dwarvish and about
which was useful to them. Yeah, it was reciprocal. Sure. But
he's been too long on the inside, man. He doesn't know how to live in the surface world anymore, man. You can't go back, man. So he just kind of lived near the dungeon or inside the top levels
Just
of it?
below the entrance, basically.
Just being a
at
weird
the
hermit,
highest.
dude, because it's the only life I know now.
Because he did get out of the dungeon at one point when his beard had grown mostly in, and he's kind of like, I don't know how to live outside a dungeon anymore. I'm too fucked up. I don't know if I've eaten dwarves to survive.
So harrowing backstory there, and then like phone all
Yes.
the guy's going, shit, Senshi, dude, I had no idea. And Laios goes, all right, so let's make some Griffin soup. It says, wow, Jesus, what? Even easy was going, look, what is his problem, lads? You've known him longer than I have. What's his problem exactly?
Like, then Laios going like, okay, best case scenario, doesn't taste like the fucking stewie yet. Worst case scenario, it fucking does, and at least he'll fucking know, and it'll be done. And Senji's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, I guess.
You're not wrong,
Like,
dude, but come on, like, please give the man some space, for God's sake.
So yeah, it makes the Griffin soup, but it does not taste like the soup he had. But Laos is like, these mushrooms. Never seen these mushrooms before, did you, Senshi?
He's going for it now because
Yes.
it's going to be, I will solve the murders from 10 years ago, right this minute.
Because these are changelings, and they're often hunted out of fucking extinction because people don't want to be the stories of like a children coming back as a changeling child, as in something came back as your child because it transformed into it with these mushrooms. So people like kill these mushrooms wherever they can get them. That's why you haven't fucking seen them. So they're growing in the dungeon. That's not a fucking griffin. That's a hippogriff. So
it was chasing you because it wanted to fuck your horse.
Yeah, it didn't attack the horse because you think it would have went for the fucking horse, but it fucking that's Griffins fucking love horses. Yum yum, tasty horse. But this was in heat, so it was kind of like, oh, the bum of that is very attractive to me because that's what my bum looks like. I guess is the logic.
Because you pointed out the headman's helmet had been stuffed in it, but Griffin can't do that. It's got claws and talons in the beak. It couldn't do that. But
that move in the last episode it did where it kicked Marcel's it did a back kick on Marcel's thing. That's not a lion kind of maneuver. Yes. That's a horse maneuver. So he's fucking Columboing the shit out of this, and he's like, so what we'll do is we'll take the Griffin meat, put it in the circle of changelings, change it into presumably hippogriff, make a stew out of that, and if that fucking tastes the same, then you haven't eaten any dwarves.
Yes,
those taste the same. Cool effect. It's just like it's like it marbles up upon saying, oh, it's a bit more appealing now. It's like, oh, all right.
And it tastes just like the soup, and Senji's in tears.
It's a really nice thing. It was getting me in this tea as well, because it then had the whole thing like here was like his old family, and they're kind of forgotten now, and it's just like this fades into the family he has now with this loyal cat by his knee.
She's like, I also like you, weird old man that I've just discovered a lot about, but so is everyone else.
I do. Like, that was a lot. No, I'm a real little bastard, but that was like a lot to throw at somebody, and it's just absolutely just like real bonding moment. My resolve is firmed now. From like this is why I was afraid to go down. It's my only reason for being here was to know this, but I will stick with G to the end, as far as you want to go. It's like, for essentially, you're our dude, you're our boy now. Lovely moment. Followed immediately by the back half of the episode, where like, remember that time we got all like doppelgang, and we found out what we actually knew, what we actually really think about each other. How about we have crazy body switching comedy?
The fact that they do that big emotional thing and they immediately step through a circle of fucking changeling. It's like, you fucking idiots. You like, they're just like, it's like they're good people, they're nice people, they're all fucking dumb as shit. And it's very funny.
I wasn't sure I was going to get this far. I was going to end oh, resolve this firm, and we have Senji's backstory. Like, why not in season 2? We're going to open like straight up with this one. That's going to just bounce right into this one. Let's just keep it moving.
No, end on a fucking joke. Keep them coming for the jokes. I think that's the good way to do it.
It was like tied for first chapter with like the doppelganger one. I love it.
Yeah.
Particularly, so Lars gets turned into a dwarf, and he's all for this because this is a much better body for adventuring in.
This is basically like I've turned into a monster. I fucking love it.
Yeah, so strong. I understand why Senshi just.
Yes.
No, sorry.
Marcel's a half-foot. Yes. Chilchuk's a tall man.
There's a point where he's looking at himself like he's lifting up the blanket. He looks like he's checking out his own dick, and he is disappointed with the result. It's pretty good background shit.
Izumi is a kobold with cat ears.
Oh, it's so good because she's like a dog, but like what are they called? Foxes, like dog hardware, cat software. So it's a dog that's trying to do catness. Ah, it's very good. Yeah.
Oh, the design of Corpus, it's like a cartoon dog, and it's just snap the scrolls like when it's talking like this, hey, but except we're like it's like getting in battle mode, and it goes like realistic dog face. Grrr.
Man, I feel like a lot of people are going to switch from the crappy D&D reptilian kobolds to dog kobolds because they're just better. They're simply better. You can do cartoon dog Tanyan face. You can do growling fucking dog face on a man body. It's better.
Sherlock Hound.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I so we were trying to talk about that stuff the other day. Yeah, I hadn't realised that Skaven are essentially the Games Workshop kobolds, because there was another step between dogmen and little lizard men where they of rat men.
You kind of work your way down the tiers, but
Yes.
Senji has gotten the best or worst of it, depending
No,
on.
but it's like, of course he gets turned into one now because what's going to be the most drastic change for him? But he's just like, all you can do is fucking this blue steel and magnum at everybody.
Yes.
He doesn't let you cook anything or fight anything.
He's too enamored with his own beautifulness, basically. Yeah.
Yes, because his clothes seem to be constantly falling off his own body once he's turned.
Well, he's so live now. I mean,
yes.
Well, I noticed they had to swap clothing around the phone, saying, "Oh, sorry, Blias, I gotta borrow your fucking trousers." Like, fun. You're okay to the phone saying, "Yeah, it's weird. It's like I got a fucking like film of like numbness over my whole body." It's
all
his
senses are numbed. Because he listening for stuff, but he's just like, I feel like shit. All their voices have changed in subtle ways as well, and it's fucking fantastic again. Just really good stuff.
It's just me, he's separated from his wife and kids.
That's what he basically should have been looking like the entire fucking time for our human-centric perception. Yeah, fucking good shit.
Yeah, yeah, because then Marcel has now got the halfling trap detection abilities, because it is all about the old traditional D&D. These are your racial abilities, and now they've still got them if they've swapped bodies.
So the initial thing when they're attacked by gargoyles is kind of like, we can just do this and like use like, because now you're the one detecting traps, and Chilchuk, you're gonna have to fight rather than run the fuck away, because they're gonna go for you as the biggest target in the group.
Marcel, you got fuck on, man. As a halfling, like you get one shot off and you're banjaxed, so you got to put you something else. You gotta regroup. Senshi, you gotta do something, man. Come on.
Senshi, you can't just be pretty. You can't pretty way out of the situation. But like Laos is fucking happy with this because he's like, I'm fucking super strong now. I'm fucking swole as shit. This is great. Except, what's your constitution modifier? It's like that. It's like, it's actually not great.
I get why he stops and cooks all the time, because, geez, it takes a lot of food to keep this thing running.
If you do watch, anytime they stop, Senji immediately sits fucking down because he's fucking knackered all the time.
Now, we should say the reason why they're being chased by gargoyles is they came across a magical locked door, which they were like, can't find a way to open it using thief skills. We could go and ask the elves.
It might just be that Chillichuk's like, knock, knock. It's like, I don't hear shit. I don't fucking know, man.
The person now who we'd have to do diplomacy with the elves would be Senshi.
He's up for it.
I'll
he thinks
do
his
it.
beautifulness can do it, but we don't really trust Senshi to be like our talky guy, which is sensible.
But it turns out Kensuke is the one who can open the door.
His tentacles grow 10 times as large and open the door, and it's like, did Kensuke also change? I thought he died in the fucking cold, I'll be honest with you guys. But
go through close. And now we have no way back, and we don't know if there's a changing ring beyond this door, so we might be stuck like this for the remainder of our journey.
So they did that. It's like, we can probably continue the journey like this. We cannot continue the journey
like
this.
No, fuck that. Laios, you would say that, you prick. You got the best deal out of this.
And even him is like, but I get fucking like tired real fucking quick.
Let's just fucking just sit down and eat something, alright? Okay. Oh, let's do fucking Griffin dumplings, alright? Okay, everyone get to work, fucking start rapping, okay?
The fact that is actually a calming thing is like, let's fucking center ourselves by making dumplings, and the metaphor of the dumplings can have different fillings, but the outsides are different. So it's like us, our insides are changed from our outsides appearances.
But we're still like a tasty filling on the inside, no matter what our outer wrapper is.
Also, you can tell which ones that Itazumi has made because they're covered in fucking dog hair, which is really
yeah. Those are yours. They shouldn't be in there messed with them. It was like some of the flavor of one. Oh, like you can kind of tell by the fillings that like one said, oh, you like ones that are kind of like Polish pierogies, that's your kind of dumpling you like, you kind of like, your Asian style, like, ginger and pork or what have you. Like, oh, everyone's got like an angle on this.
Different versions of a dumpling to some extent. Yeah.
Like, come on, gang, we gotta figure this one out. Dumplings.
They could have ended on the really nice heartfelt moment, but they decided to end on it's like we got to work together because all of us have gone into Freaky Friday.
Well, we got one more, I think, that they just
No. What I'm saying is that they decided to go with this rather than like that has a dramatic cliffhanger. It was like, will the gang figure out how to get to their original bodies? Tune in.
Not till next season. Then we've got Windbreaker, episode 10, dialogue, where we have a picnic and then we go and have an after picnic meal.
I think the last time I saw the situation is like, should we be sitting down with the bad guys from the last arc? But it was in Mashal, and they were also going. And then it's like, I don't know, should we have invited the bad guys to the after party? He's like, yeah, they're cool now. Don't worry about it.
That's grand. The fun. The combinis here to do that. Do different stuff in the combis in our side of town. So like, just get a bunch of stuff together. It's just like, okay, Umamiya, why are you so cool? I just want to eat food with the lads. Is that it? That's it? Huh?
Why are you the leader?
That's because I want to eat food with the lads. I want to keep eating food with the lads. As simple as that.
I wasn't aiming for strength. It turns out that strength lets me hang out and eat food with the lads. Yeah. And by being leader, like everyone else's kind of wishes, I kind of got to know them. And I was like, I'm actually supporting them now as well. Also, I get to eat food with the lads. So.
He points out is if I could make our part of town peaceful in a different way to the way I'm doing it, I'd have done it that way. That is and then I'd be able to hang out.
It was the most expedient way for me to hang out and have picnics or go to a restaurant or just hang out with the lads. Like, that was it.
Yes, it's just these are the lads who I've chosen to hang out with, as opposed to, let's assume, just bothering the girl at the restaurant all the time. Would be what he was doing otherwise.
Yeah. I suppose I think it's Tomiyabe's got get strong. Step 2, ? Step 3, pop it, and have fun with that. What's the step here? What's the stage? What's the driving towards?
And that's the thing he realizes,
strength for its own sake.
That's why my fist had no weight. I wasn't getting strong for a reason other than getting strong, which is just like there's no satisfying end goal to that.
Yeah,
there's nothing achieved.
That's the bit in the middle, because we also get Tagame apologizing and then Choji apologizing, and then Umamiya making Sakura choose what the punishment is for Tagame to apologize.
You can't be just lame-o anymore.
Yes, you've got to be a cool guy and don't do anything lame.
The sentiment is there. You kind of probably put a word of that a bit more eloquently, just from fun. But we get the idea, stop being a dickhead.
That's what Umamiya is doing this for, is to get him to express himself.
What do you want? You don't want people to be lame. You want people to be cool. All right, that's good. That's a good goal. That's an achievable goal, because what he was, as they're talking, is like, wait a minute, I'm also just after strength for strength's sake and for no other fucking reason. It's like, yeah, but you had a conversation with that guy and you got to know what he wanted, and that's why you tried to punch him.
You didn't say any of that. No, you didn't. You didn't say any of that.
You expressed it.
But you fucking knew it. You knew from fighting, because a lot of languages out there, but these are universal.
Before that, we get Sakura wondering why he wasn't hearing any telepathy from his hands. No,
not literally, you fucking...
Figuratively, it's a fucking metaphor. It's a metaphor, but it kind of works, so yeah.
Yes, because he points out to him that you tried to stop showed you from punching Tagame, and so you learned something about the person you were fighting against. You
That made
connected
you
with him.
appreciate
You learned what your
Yes.
opponent
a little
wanted,
more.
and even beating your opponent made you want the thing your opponent wanted because it was right. Like that's the
Yeah.
conversation you had.
Then of course he's like, "Oh, stop making me feel emotions."
Shut
I just want to be a little bastard who punches people. It's like, yeah, not anymore, bitch.
I'm gonna
Like,
take over your gang. Totally will.
Yeah, fucking
okay,
do
tough
it.
guy. We'll all be waiting for that.
Like you know that me achieving my goal, which you said you're fully in sporting, means I need to beat you because you're undefeated. And he's like, yeah, go do it. Like just fucking do it. Then. Like I don't mind, go for it. Great.
Yeah, because you know from our point of view is that you would be clearly has in his mind, oh, I'm only here for another year, and then
Yeah,
I'm
I was like
leaving the school.
literally
Yeah.
like that's yeah. I cleaned up the town in
Gotta
the
get a real job.
whatever. Yeah. He's going to need to clean
So-
up a college town after this, I guess.
That's where you get Roadhouse 3.
Roadhouse
Osaka
3.
Drift.
And we get some funny like cuts to Tsukishita growling and
You talking shit about my favorite guy.
throwing it about to throw a chair at him.
Well, probably if he's get like the kind of cool heart to heart with the boss that I should get because I'm new as well. Why is he talking to me like that? I love him more.
Because this guy's a cat and you're a dog. You do what the boss says, but the cat needs more training. That's it. You're already there, bud. You're good. No problem.
I like when Kota has commenting on them all coming back into the restaurant and their injuries, except for Suo, who has no injuries on him at all.
He's perfectly clean. Yeah.
He perfected his dude. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how about the rest of you? The uniformly have like the collar or the t-shirts just like this rimmed with blood dried in.
Yeah, your man's got like obviously next to the convenience store, they must have like a little fucking triage fucking place because he's got like a bandage on his neck for when your man tried to rip out his jugular with his teeth, and it's just like it's fine, we're friends now, it's cool, everything's cool. It's like, aren't you?
He was only playing, don't mind him.
He didn't seem to get very far into his neck, but still, I mean, like you might have a tooth scar on your neck, and that's going to cause a lot of problems in future job-seeking opportunities.
It's pretty cool, old man, to go biting.
And then the end bit is they're discussing about how Kota Hart is probably the real head of Bofarin because that's the person.
That's the little chibi bit at the end. Is like, so you realize who the true head is. It's just like, yeah, her, because she controls her brother, and it always like sidesteps all of his affections. So she's in charge. With food, I guess. Yeah.
And I guess we're going to move on to the next arc.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dudes who are in the intro who haven't really had any screen time about and saying, okay, now we go back and probably get some more detail on the organizational structure of Bofarin.
There's the curly haired dude who's constantly pumping iron in the intro. Maybe he does nothing other than that, but I saw they had one of the Humble Bundles has I've forgotten the comic company, but and it has a bunch of those in it. And he's on one of the covers, so he must be something important if he's on the cover, right?
Yeah, I thought like, that'd be good to hop into like after like this ends because it could be a good read. There's so much absolute shite in that bundle though. It's like,
it's not great. No, like I was like, that's
giving money
that and
towards
like
that.
one other thing I think I would be interested in, and I literally just got that really good Ninja Turtles run from a bundle recently with Sophie Campbell doing the art and shit like that. That I'm just like, I'm good for a while now.
I suppose I could pay like the 20 odd quid and just get like a ton of Windbreaker, and then I don't need to necessarily download the rest of it. Yeah.
It's not the worst, to be fair.
You get Go Loser Ranger as well, and
that's in there too. Yeah.
I knew there was one other thing I was interested in.
Like a handful of things, but a novel is just padded out with one, just like light novel manga adaptation horseshit. It's fucking absolute sawdust in the bundle.
I have a wealth of things on my to read list. So that those extra fucking bits is like don't really interest me. Yeah.
That's true. I've not finished reading that. Should the Beast that I've downloaded
yeah.
yet. I've read a little bit, and then that sated me. My immediate wanted to know what happened next, and I didn't read the rest of it. Anyway, yes, that's Windbreaker 10. It's kind of like a transitional episode. I guess we'll probably have another transitional episode next week, and then
That was the end of this arc. It's the start of the next arc. That kind of thing.
Just start it up. Is this running on and on?
I think so. It must be.
It feels like it must be because it's like it's sort of like stopped off, and we don't have much time now for next section of it unless you're running on and on.
But maybe not if they're. Who knows? Well, live chart might see if it's in the continuing things in the season coming up. Anyway, I'll look that up. Astro Note, episode 10. We've got a new lodger.
Octo-kun? No. This is Shoei Ginger. But he came out of that room. I thought it was him.
The first impression where he's just like, I'm here to study your planet and its ways. It's like, did he say fucking planet? It's like, he's English, he's Japanese is terrible, so don't fucking worry about any of the weird shit he says. It's like, yes, you serfs, aren't you the enslaved cook of this hostel? And it's
the domestic.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, yeah, he's really fucking it up. He really sounds like an asshole if you just listen to the words he says. Like they're all going like, yeah, his Japanese is terrible. He sounds very rude because he is rude. He's a rude man.
They were being terrorized by evil bamboo shoots in the garden,
which injures our idol. I mean, it wasn't aiming for her, as we find out later, but it
turned her ankle. Ooh.
It might ruin her idol career. It's like, what fucking idol career is the main thing that she's kind of trying to figure out over the course of the episode.
This essentially her plot is that somebody who started the same time she did has now married a tech CEO.
The ultimate achievement.
Well, it doesn't spell out that probably means the end of her career. But if you look at the careers of idols, that tends to be the end of your career. And I think that's
basically you won, is what it's considered. Yeah.
Yes, at the end of the episode, it's like, because the other thing which the other characters are doing is like, what do you love?
Yes.
Because she asks, Alien Princess asks, well, you really love cooking. Yeah, I love cooking. What do you love, Mira? And then she's like, pan across to his face, and then she never gets a chance. She keeps on getting interrupted every time she's about to tell him.
Yeah,
that damn old lady came back again.
Oh my god, I think that old lady's the actual fucking villain of the piece, man.
She's dispatching all these robot agents to fucking mess up their life. But she loved that one and said, "Oh, you're going to big gossip. She tried to get him together, right? So."
No, because she was trying to drive him. It's just like, oh, you're gonna marry that English fella that runs the Love Hotel, huh? You know, that kind of shit. Like she
probably bad for any gossip at all. So
yeah.
Damn her though.
Yeah, so Terran's wondering, what am I doing this for? But then by the time we get to the end of the episode, she does the performance. She realizes she's doing it both for herself and her fans because she just loves performing. I think that's the thing, is like the implication is that her peer, who may have also loved performing at the start of her career, is probably not going to get to do that now she's married a tech CEO.
Well, that is considered like an end goal success. It's like, my end goal is to be an idol, and I'm doing that, so fucking win. I'm winning.
I was waiting for her to kind of pull something cheap for something, which injured her ankle. She burst it off, that leg, she's in the middle of her routine. She's going to, pivot on that leg and is going to go flat. She's going to fall flat in her arse. No, he just
she practices
powers through it.
Yeah, she practices without being on that, and it's kind of like, no, she put the work in, and does a pretty good show, and the few fans that she has, which fills out a little fucking space, they do like her, so she's doing okay. She's doing all right.
She packed the house. It wasn't like the fucking Royal Albert Hall, but hey, it's like the basement of your local pub.
Yeah. She's a local celebrity, that kind of way, and maybe that's enough for her. So, and it's nice that it's like, well, maybe my goals don't need to be, I need to be the greatest idol on planet Earth. It's like, no, I'm doing good.
Whatever
I'm
keeps
doing
being
pretty
beer
well.
money. Whatever keeps being beer money, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't say I don't earn it.
Yeah, and it's a nice contrast to, it's like you said, Brian, like, what do you love? What are you trying to achieve here? It's like, do you really want the key to Planet Weed? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, because we also get Shion learning how to cook so that when Mira returns to Planet Wind, he can carry on cooking her the meals that she loves from Planet Earth.
Because initially he's thinking, it's like, well, I can cook and that fucking piece of shit can't. And then he just, initially he buys a bunch of expensive food, but now he's going to learn to cook and he's good at it. He's good at everything he tries to do. Shit, I'm in trouble.
But it comes down anything that shares the love of food with people. I kind of have some kind of like Hippocratic oath to the chef. Like
I literally did
I
say
can do no
that-
harm in my cooking, so I have
Yeah.
to.
And I
take this
did
good
say I
natured
wanted to
thing.
keep making her delicious breakfast. I wanted her to keep having delicious breakfast. If I teach him how to make delicious breakfast, she can continue to have my delicious breakfast. So
A chef is kind of like a bartender, and a bartender is like all these other things. So this is actually
sacred
really
duty.
important, really important.
And breakfast is life, as we saw from the banner. So yeah.
But then towards the end of the episode, they realise that the bamboo is actually chasing after Takumi, not Mira.
Because they tried to assassinate him in the garden when all of them were there in the garden. You had the dog, your man, your one, and it went after the human? That's weird. Why is it going after the fucking human? Pure coincidence, says our fucking definite villain.
And then they're reviewing the evidence and they compare it to an old photo and they realise that the real problem, the real enemy here is transport infrastructure projects. Because
fucking put a fucking bike lane in there, the bastards.
Yeah. At some point the road was widened, and so some of the
front garden was shrunk.
Yeah,
and
some of the garden
in the old photo of the front garden, you can see there's a big fucking key planted into the fucking grounds.
Yes, and he was using it to help his gardening. Yeah, it's great.
Like, I assume it's just like putting it in and doing the thing where you root it out to loosen the soil. Like,
yeah, or I think it was like putting a wire, string across.
Anchoring a trellis or something with it.
Yeah.
I bet when they moved the fucking sign of the lodge, that's when the fucking letter fell off and now it says Astro Note. Like, fucking, oh my god, fucking council. Fucking it up for everyone.
Yeah.
Pedestrian crossing for children. Fucking, not in my watch.
The key may be under the pavement. Yeah, that was just the right sort of ridiculous reveal for this show.
And a very simple thing. And it's like, why can't we find this key? It's like, because it's here. 2 feet where you were looking. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it is like and then at a character level, you guys showing underestimating Mira's I got a kind of happy life here, I'm free of the kind of worries and responsibilities from being the fucking next queen of the planet, and then Takumi is underestimating then his own appeal to Mira because Shoin's got it all. He has like the looks, he has the cash, he has this fucking tricked out car, and now he can cook thanks to me. But she asks him, hey, can you teach me how to cook as well? It's like, oh, really? Someone said, oh, yeah. Like, it's gonna be a cute little thing, and Shoin's like, for fuck's sake. That's all I had. That's my ace. I just played it. She's still bad at it, but we can practice. We can figure this out. But she came to him because didn't come to Shoin. Shoin knows how to cook now. She could have asked him, but she came to you, Takumi.
And that's the idea. Like, there's a conversation bit between him where she's kind of like, does he really want me to go back to the planet? Because he's trying to help me get back to my planet. Like, I guess he doesn't want to be with me. And then he's thinking, like, does she really want to go back to the planet? I guess she wants to go back to the planet. I guess she doesn't want to be with me. And they're so close to it. And that fucking old lady comes out and just fucking ruins the whole thing. It's very like again, your Mei Goku kind of thing. But then some owl bat comes in and fucking ruins it, making it comedy again from the drama, which is like, yeah, it's a nice balance that it strikes.
Yeah, because she's trying to stand him there to tell him something, and then she doesn't get to tell him. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Did anybody watch anything else this week? I watched
nothing new.
I watched one of the guys from the God, what are they called? The Akiba Boys. He did an hour-long dance to that hour-long edit of the My Dear Friend Nokutan.
Okay.
It's okay. I thought the dedication to our character hasn't even come out yet.
No, but yes. But as someone pointed out in the comments, he slowly drifted to the right as he was dancing to it.
You gotta fucking mark your points, man. Yeah.
Fucking aperture.
But yeah, and then at the end of it, he just collapsed onto his bed because it was a really foolish thing.
It's an hour-long dance. Like, yeah, that's understandable.
Yes, they're very good dancers because they are like a breakdancing crew. But yeah, it's foolish to dance to just a single loop of a line of a part of the opening credits for a show that's not even out yet.
I'm for my sins, I guess. Still watching Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night kind of thing. It's getting very dramatic this week. I won't go into it, but last week, basically, you one kind of get like it's the plot continuing as normal, but then you one gets an email out of the blue for a business opportunity. And I was just like, this is like like, hey, we saw your art. We want you to do this project kind of thing. And I was like, I literally got an email about that during that fucking episode while watching it. Because I was like, yeah, this thing is very close to life, except when it's being fucking weird and creepy. And I'm just like, I'm just waiting. And then
your life could be weird and creepy as well if you want it to be great.
If I worked really hard at it, yeah, but it's so much work, man. I couldn't.
There's a lot of money being weird and creepy. You could be like, make some serious bank in it.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not watching anything new beyond stupid dance videos for anime that's out yet.
I was watching things that are too old, like Fist of the North Star 2 and Coco 13.
I'm rewatching Twin Peaks again. That doesn't count. But it's like OddTaxi.
Yeah, you guys scratched that itch.
I know, that's basically it.
I was like, what's a bit of fire around? It's like, I should probably finish that out before anything new stuff. But it'll be a little light in the summer season anyway, so it'll be fine.
I felt like it's from what I've seen, it's quite good, but I feel like it's going to take a bad comparison from me watching Delicious in Dungeon at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's going to be my.
Yeah, well, it just finished that out because she's getting her fucking medic license. There's a battery of tests, and there's other people, other casts being introduced now during those tests. It's like, I'm going to wait till it's all done. You just go through it in one swoop.
And then you can watch it at your own. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rightio, that's it then. Say goodbye.
That's enough.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.